why Ian Garry might beat Islam Makhachev. Everyone thinks they already know how this fight ends. Islam takes Ian down, gets him against the cage, drags him to the mat, and eventually, the wrestling, pressure, and control become too much. And honestly, that is probably the most logical prediction. But what if the thing everyone expects Islam to do is exactly what gives Ian Garry his best chance of winning? Because this isn't just a fight between a striker and a wrestler. It's a fight between two completely different physical problems. And for the first time in a long time, Islam Makhachev is facing someone who is 5 inches taller and has a 4-inch reach advantage. Islam is 5'10". Ian Garry is 6'3". And that difference isn't just something that looks impressive during the face-off. It could completely change the geometry of this fight.
A lot of people are talking about what you two would look like next to each other. Is he much bigger than you? It didn't seem like he was that much taller. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah, I tell Rizwan, UFC have to check my toe again because it was 10 years ago first time. Now I'm a little bit taller.
So size-wise, people are talking about it online. It doesn't correlate for me the same way. I think it's more stylistically this fight is interesting than size. If anything, me being tall is better for him because there's more room for him to get under, to get to my leg. There's more leg to get.
The first problem, distance. Ian Garry's biggest weapon might not be his power. It might be distance. Garry is at his best when he can make an opponent work. Just to reach him, he can move backward, circle, kick, use his long jab, and most importantly, make his opponent miss before making them pay for it. And Islam already knows exactly what Ian wants to do. Islam has openly talked about having to follow Garry, pressure him, and look for the takedown.
Andalena, it's like more boxer, but I think Ian have more skills, He's good on the striking, he have good wrestling defense, but he have some weak point. He's not completely like 100% like myself.
So imagine the fight begins. Ian doesn't stand in front of Islam. He doesn't try to prove he's tougher. He doesn't try to exchange in the pocket. Just because the crowd wants violence. He stays long. He touches Islam with kicks. He forces Islam to close the distance. And every time Islam steps forward, Ian makes him pay for it. Because Islam has to cross the distance. Ian doesn't. And that is the advantage of being the longer fighter. Islam has to solve a different problem. Islam's wrestling is terrifying when opponents give him the opportunity to get close. But getting a takedown against a moving target is different from getting one against someone standing directly in front of you. Islam has to close the distance. Then, he has to get his hands on Ian. Then, he has to finish the takedown. And if Ian gets back up, he has to do it again, and again, and again. That doesn't mean Ian can simply run around the octagon for 25 minutes. That's not a game plan. The real game plan is to make Islam work for every exchange. Make him chase. Make him reset. Make him shoot from further away. Make him carry Ian's weight in the clinch. And make every failed attempt cost something, because in a 5-round fight, those little moments can become very important. But here's the real question. Can Ian actually stop Islam from putting him on the ground? Because this is where the entire prediction falls apart.
Every fight, he just run back and he just working for the point. I don't remember when he finished someone last time.
Islam isn't just another wrestler. He's one of the best grapplers in MMA. He spent years fighting at lightweight, became champion, and defended that title 4 times before moving up to welterweight. And now, he's bringing that skill into a division where he is naturally bigger. So Ian can't simply say, stay away from me. He has to prove that he can stay away from Islam. And when Islam finally gets his hands on him, Ian has to prove that he can get back up. That could be the battle that decides everything. But Ian has something that makes this interesting. Ian isn't entering this fight completely dependent on his striking. He has a judo background. He's trained extensively for the grappling side of MMA. And perhaps most importantly, he spent his recent career dealing with fighters who know how to make fights ugly. He beat Carlos Prates over 5 rounds. He beat Belal Muhammad over 5 rounds. And those fights weren't about walking forward and throwing bombs. They were about controlling distance, making smart decisions, and surviving difficult moments. That's important, because Ian doesn't necessarily need to dominate Islam. He just needs to make Islam's normal path to victory much harder than usual. And then we get to the cardio question. This is where I think Ian's best strategy becomes really interesting.
He has to get me down. I have to keep it on the feet. However, it's the most elite of both of those worlds. He is unbelievably good when he grabs a hold of people, and I am unbelievably good at moving around on the feet and being the best striker in the world.
Don't try to win the fight in the first 5 minutes. Don't chase the knockout. Don't wrestle Islam just to prove you can wrestle him. Don't give him exactly what he wants. Make him work. If Islam shoots, and Ian stuffs it, Ian wins a small battle. If Islam gets close, and Ian escapes, Ian wins another. If Islam pressures him into the cage, and Ian gets back to the center, another battle is won. And if Ian can keep doing that, 4-3, 4, even 5 rounds, the fight starts becoming a completely different problem. Because now, Islam isn't fighting a version of Ian Garry, who stands directly in front of him.
I just love to fight. And this is an opportunity to go out there to prove that I am better than everyone believes and knows I am. This guy's got a 100% finish rate. I've got a 100% win rate. When I step into the octagon, all I do is win.
He's fighting a 6'3" fighter with long weapons who refuses to give him clean entries. And every failed takedown becomes information. Every reset becomes energy spent. Every minute that passes without Islam establishing control increases the pressure on him to find another solution. That's where Ian's endurance could become extremely important. Not because Islam has bad cardio. He doesn't. But because good cardio doesn't mean infinite energy. And there's another thing people are forgetting. Islam doesn't necessarily have to wrestle Ian. And that might actually be the most dangerous possibility for Ian. Islam's team has suggested that they may adapt, depending on what they see inside the octagon, including potentially striking with Garry, rather than automatically forcing every exchange into a takedown.
If there ever is a point in this fight where you're unable to get the takedown, could you purely outstrike Ian Garry?
Yeah, sure. Like, watch my fights against Volkanovski, against Dustin Poirier. I can strike with anyone, but the Bulls fight where I strike with these guys is more this like hard fight for me, you know. That's why if wrestling not working, grappling not working, I can strike with anyone. But if I want the easy win, I have to take them down and finish them.
His striking isn't talked about enough because of how good his grappling is. But when you watch him go out there, he beat Jack Della Maddalena every second on the feet. And it was only when he wanted to grab a hold of him did he take it to his world. But he's incredibly talented in all areas of the game. Make no mistake about it. If you switch off on the feet, look what happened to Volkanovski. He can take you out there too. That's why I say this fight is arguably the best complete mixed martial artist fight we've seen in a long, long time.
And that is terrifying, because if Islam decides he can beat Ian on the feet, Ian loses the predictability of knowing exactly what is coming. Suddenly, Islam can threaten the takedown without actually shooting. Ian reacts to the possibility of being taken down. Islam uses that reaction to create openings. And now, the wrestling isn't just a way to get Ian to the ground. It's a weapon that can control Ian's decisions while they're standing. That's what makes Islam so difficult to fight. You aren't just fighting what he's doing. You're fighting what you think he's about to do. So how does Ian actually win? I think the blueprint is surprisingly simple. Stay long, attack the legs and body, use the jab, use kicks to make Islam hesitate before entering. Circle instead of constantly retreating in a straight line. And most importantly, don't give Islam free access to the clinch. Because once Islam gets a clean connection, the fight changes. Ian shouldn't try to entertain the crowd. He shouldn't stand in the pocket and trade just because Islam is there. And he definitely shouldn't decide that he's going to prove he can out-wrestle Islam. That's the trap. Ian's advantage isn't being better than Islam at Islam's game. His advantage is forcing Islam to play a game he's less accustomed to playing. A long-range, 5-round fight where every takedown has to be earned. But there's one way this all goes wrong. Ian could get impatient. He could start chasing the finish. He could stay too long in the pocket. He could accept the clinch. Or worse, he could decide to wrestle Islam. Because against someone like Islam Makhachev, one mistake isn't always just one mistake. One mistake can become a takedown. The takedown can become control. The control can become back exposure. And suddenly, the entire game plan is gone. That's why Ian's biggest opponent on Saturday might not actually be Islam. It might be Ian himself. Can he stay disciplined when the crowd starts screaming? Can he stay calm when Islam gets his hand around his waist? Can he get back to his feet after being taken down? And can he resist the temptation to turn the fight into something it doesn't need to be? Because Ian doesn't need to prove that he's tougher than Islam. He doesn't need to prove that he's a better wrestler. He doesn't even need to dominate every round. He needs to make Islam uncomfortable for 5 rounds. And that's why I think Ian Garry has a real chance. Islam is still the favorite for a reason. His wrestling is elite. His submission game is elite. His pressure is elite. And he's already proven that he can solve world-class opponents. But Ian Garry presents a different puzzle. A 5-inch height difference. A 4-inch reach advantage. Long-range striking. Movement. takedown defense, and the possibility of making Islam work much harder than he's used to, just to get into his preferred positions. And if Ian can turn this into a fight, where Islam is constantly chasing, where Islam is constantly resetting, where every takedown attempt costs energy, and where Ian is still fresh in the championship rounds, then suddenly, the fight that looked almost impossible starts looking very different, because Islam's greatest weapon is control, and Ian's entire strategy should be about never allowing Islam to establish it. That's the fight. Not Ian's power against Islam's chin. Not Ireland against Dagestan. Not striker against wrestler. It's distance versus pressure. And if Ian Garry can't control that distance for 25 minutes, we could be looking at one of the biggest upsets of Islam Makhachev's career.